Hey y'all, hey, welcome to the Wellness Plug TV. It's your girl Nadya by Nature. I'm here on the wellness note to give y'all somebody new. I know I always talking about like self-care and everything to keep everybody going with the love of the wellness, but main parts of wellness is financing, y'all. Like you got to have the mental stability to go through the finance process. And here today, I have that expert here to share some knowledge and give us some knowledge on this financing that we need to gain or become a part of, just like even just like in the community and everything. So I'm gonna let Mr. Rashad introduce himself.
hmm Yeah, thank you so much for having me here today. Um, I think I got into finance I was always interested in numbers at a young age, and
Yes.
especially since it wasn't a very healthy topic in the Black
Mm.
community. It was either hush hush or you talk all about it and boast it up, and then come to find out it's not
Mm.
truly what you thought it was. But been
Wow.
in practice for financial planning for a little over a year now. Went through internships all throughout college, and I always just knew I wanted to step in this field and provide some stability and peace of mind to the community.
Gotcha. Wow. So wait a minute. So how long you been in financing again?
Officially full time running my own business a little over a year now.
So tell us what's the name of your business.
Just myself, really. But I do have a strategic partnership with
Oh,
Northwestern
gotcha.
Mutual. hmm
Gotcha. Okay. 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 So you've been liking numbers. You get into this. And what made you kind of just like stick into it though? Because you think that this could help like your family? Like what's going on in your life right now? What's going on?
Um, well, I think it all really started when I was about 17 years old. About 17, my junior year, it was February of 2016. I was going into the Nike football combine in Los Angeles. Got invited, and I thought I was just this big hot shot in football, all this, all that. And then the night before the combine, I partially tear my Achilles tendon, and then from there, I had no idea it was actually a tear until I think the Monday following, when I got an MRI. For next thing I know, it's a partial tear. And
Right.
then from that, got in a boot, just started rehabbing, going to personal physical therapy, just trying to
Mm-hmm.
get my strength back.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4 months later, in that same year, tried to come back a little too fast, wasn't patient, ended up fully tearing the Achilles. So it's really rare.
Wow. So okay,
mm-hmm.
so you knew then I can't even do sports no more.
Mm-hmm.
Like and I'm sure there was something that you loved for a
Mm-hmm.
long time. Um how long was you wait a minute? How long was you doing? Like how long was you playing sports at the time?
At the time, that was my junior year of high school, so I was about 17. I'd gotten into football at about 10 years old, but that was the my sophomore year was the first time I really
It's
started
like the
to take
highlights.
off, yeah, like mentally, really believing
Gotcha.
that I can actually get to the league
Mm.
in my ability, and really thought like, okay, I'm just gonna give my all into this
And,
game.
and you got there.
Yeah.
There at the place.
mm.
Okay, wait. Yeah, that would have done it for me too. That would have done it for me. I don't even. I'm no, I'm serious. Like so, as a dancer, like or even just like you said, as an athlete, we look for those things to help us, in our future. Like
mm.
maybe this is gonna take me, here or there, and then in the middle of your breakthrough,
Mm.
oh, whoa, I would have been so mad. And so that would, put a spin on your life. Then, that's when it takes a mental toll, right? For you to
mm.
go where you're gonna go next. So what
mm.
happened after that?
So I had the surgery in June. I had actually ended up coming back to play in September of that same year for my senior year, and pretty much Northern Arizona University, Minnesota State, just all these schools that were looking at me at the time, just nowhere to be found. So it was a big, physically, it wasn't too much, if I'm being completely honest. Pain, I have a relatively moderate pain tolerance, really nothing. The biggest thing about that was the mental, especially going
Right.
through the hardships of February and kind of having a somewhat of an identity crisis a little bit.
Right.
And then being right there in June to where I thought I was going to be able to get back to my full
Right.
ability. But if I can go back and tell 17-year-old myself, like, just impatient knucklehead, just slow down. That's the best thing I could have said.
Right. And think, if do you believe like from there you would have kept playing, or
Hmm.
would you would have really? Well, that's a good
Hmm.
thing. I mean, because most people, they have like secondary things that there was nothing like you would have thought that you would have did like later on, something addition like adding to what you do.
Um, well, that's kind of where the whole finance part started a little
Gotcha.
bit, because I wanted to. I was never a person where I respect authority, but to me, I always love doing what I want to do.
That's
So
right.
I was never super fond of having a manager, having someone I need to report to, anything like that. And so I
Right.
started kind of searching a little bit as far as like what path can I take where I can apply kind of the same mindset as an athlete, as far as the daily grind, and
Mm.
really not even just the daily grind physically itself, but kind of the mental battles and the education part of what it takes to be an athlete as you grow from high school, collegiate, and then pro. And
Right.
that's kind of where I started falling in love really with financial planning, because there's such a broad umbrella of what falls in that category. And just so happen to find a really deep love for more of like the personal side of it, instead
Gotcha.
of just the banking and investments and all that stuff.
Okay,
Because
well,
people
teach
are
us.
people, so I
Look what.
love interacting with people.
Yes, well, teach us. So, tell me what you do like on your day to day. Like, okay, so wait, I'm bagging up. Just because you're not an athlete,
Hmm.
you're not an athlete no more. You are not athletic anymore, or
Hmm.
whatever. Well, stopped for a period of time. Do you
Hmm.
still have those tendencies? Because like, there's no way that I live without dancing. I remember, I said I wasn't gonna do dance anymore. I actually went into a whole nother field, like legal,
Oh
right?
wow.
So I was just like, I'm not ever dancing no more, because I think I
Hmm.
was trying to be rebellious because my parents paid for school, right? And so I was like, I'm doing legal, and because
Hmm.
everybody in my family actually, that's the background. So I literally wanted to do just that. And then
Hmm.
um, I found myself, this is the funny thing, I'm in uniform every day dancing
Oh wow.
still. And so it never will leave you, right? Like, so
Hmm.
you'll find ways to get back around to that. So are you still in a gym working out?
Hmm.
Do you still play, every
Hmm.
once in a while? So tell me about that.
Yeah, in like the gym, I can't get away from the gym. Like, it is in a very healthy addiction. Like, I'm probably
Right, he
in
said
there,
addiction. Right.
I think Monday through Friday, probably. Yeah, Monday through Friday, I'll get in there about 5:45, 6, and then Saturdays just kind of whenever it fits throughout the day.
Really? So you up
Hmm.
early before you even go into work to
Hmm.
go?
Yeah.
Because the body is used to that, right? Right, right,
Hmm.
right. So it's just like that's like a natural thing for you. And that's what I always want to ask people, just because you are not doing it 100%, like your body is already kind of like you said addicted to it. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like your favorite food. This is one
Hmm.
of your things. This is just your
Right.
go-to thing. Oh my God. And think about that. So that makes sense. So you literally go to gym. So are you in the gym on all the machines, hitting it hard, going hard every
Hmm.
day? And you kind of like it kind of reminds you just like, when you were at practices and stuff though, right?
Yeah, definitely a little bit less intense, because I mean I have some. It's probably stories for having a drink
Right.
late at night, but we had
Right.
some rough experiences. waking up
Right.
at 5, 4:30 in the morning just for high school football, just to get in the weight room, and
Right.
it's crazy.
That's crazy. Okay, so tell me, the people that you play ball with, like, so your friends and stuff like that, do they still play?
Yeah, I have two that I'm fairly close with still. I mean, as you get older, distance kind of grows a little bit just because
Right, right,
everyone goes
right.
off their own paths from high school. But we always still kept in touch. One of them is a left tackle for Indiana State currently in his senior year,
Oh
and then another one is
wow.
a left tackle for the Detroit Lions,
Oh, well, that's sweet. That's
and then a couple
nice.
more that are still pending as far as like drafting. And one just got drafted. One of my friends just got drafted by the LA Rams, and then another one is still waiting for a contract. So they're doing great things.
Wow. So because I always think that if you look at, like, I'm a dancer, I choreograph,
Mhm.
I've been on videos, blah blah blah. But when I see my friends that are still in LA and I see them on different TV shows and I see them, dance with Missy Elliott and
Mhm.
a few other people that I could have been, dancing with, that becomes like a challenge for me. I'm not gonna lie. Now, but the
Mhm.
thing is about that, they're constantly bouncing around,
Right.
going through things. And so that was one thing that I didn't want to go through.
Mhm.
So just imagine if that didn't happen to you, what team would you be playing for right now?
Honestly, any team that would take me, any
Really?
team, yeah.
Really?
Because I used to think as a kid, like, I want to play for this team,
Gotcha.
I want to play for that team. But as I started getting closer and closer to kind of like where I can see the light at the end of the tunnel before the injury, all I was thinking was I just want to go to any team and any coaching staff that's willing to give me an opportunity. So that was
Right.
kind of my mindset around it.
No, that's good. That's good. So going back up, you
Hmm.
had to take this mental note of redirecting your life.
Hmm.
So how did you do? I know you like numbers. You know
Hmm.
what made you jump in it? Who influenced? What was the influence?
Um, probably the biggest influence that I still even think to this date, as far as where I want to be in my business 5 years, 10 years from
Gotcha.
now, 15 years from now,
Mm-hmm,
is
mm-hmm.
my godfather.
Oh
He's
wow,
a epidemiologist out in Seattle, Washington, and he worked
wow,
very closely with the government, worked closely with Dr. Fauci before he retired on the COVID vaccine, and he was always someone in the Black community, in the LGBTQ plus community as well, that was always just himself. He never
gotcha,
formed to fit any standard as he moved up in, I guess you could call it stature, but
gotcha,
just really trying to stick true to myself, whether it's, making 50 bucks here or up to the point where, God willing, making millions and millions of dollars to where I can get back to my family. Don't let anything change you.
gotcha.
So that's always been something he implanted in me.
Oh, that's nice. So, with that being said, what was your first initial step into the finance world?
Um, I think it was back in probably about 2019.
Mm-hmm,
I was
mm-hmm.
interning at some places for college, just really thinking I wanted to get into finance. I didn't know which part, but every guy that goes into college either majors in sociology, finance,
Business.
or business. Like we have no plan.
Right. No plan. I'm like, oh, and then back in the day, I'm gonna be honest with you, used to always be like journalism. And you're like,
Hmm.
really, if you're writing your journalism, like, and but you get these degrees because you don't know. Like you
Hmm.
said, you don't have a plan, you don't know. And then to me, that's just a general
Yeah.
degree. So you can just go pave your way, right?
Hmm. Right.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So that was me, just typical, just another
Right.
guy majoring in finance.
That's right. That's right.
But
That's right.
I started looking. I had other mentors in life too, some that are in
Mm-mm.
banking, some that were more in the investment space. But
Oh wow. So it's
someone,
always circulated around numbers.
mhm,
Sweet.
but
Okay.
none of them really like ever, I guess, just clicked as far as
Gotcha.
like, yeah, this could be a good living relatively,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't feel like I was making an impact with people
Oh, okay.
because I felt like at the end of the day, it's great to look over spreadsheets and it's great
Mm.
to take care of, buildings or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, I wanted to take care of people, not take care of things.
Mm.
So that's kind of where I started make that mental shift of, okay, well, how can I start benefiting society in any way? And then that's when I kind of started really deep diving into different financial planning companies, financial planning positions,
Mm-hmm.
and really came to the conclusion of Northwestern. So it was a big, it was a big shift mentally for sure.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, especially, going from, I mean, my thing is, I still look at financing, especially as a diploma, you
Hmm.
got that. And so it's kind of like, where do you go? Where do you branch out? Do you go to a bank? Like you said, do you go
Hmm.
to investments? And what I do like about it, you do still have a broad wing there.
Hmm.
Like you can do pretty much whatever you want to do. You could have did anything from financing with just like a trucking company. You can do anything,
Right.
even just, going down the line. So for you to come back to, hey, no, I want to assist my community. I want to help, the people instead of just
Hmm.
being a general, to it. Um, what makes you, like how, you feel about that now since you made the discovery,
Hmm.
now how do you feel about it? Because if you're looking at finance, you can go into finance to corporations and stuff like that.
Hmm. Um, it's funny because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine in Tennessee yesterday on just this exact topic.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like right now, like kind of where I'm at right now in my career, in the business, everything like that, it, even if I just look back 6 months, like a 6 month old version of Rashad, me back in March of this year, I can look back and say I was such a baby. And it's such a growing industry where like I learn so much on a daily basis. And I'm grateful to be out here in Dallas and just surrounded by the other advisors that are veterans, tenured, and really just other mentors in the business
Mhm.
where I can see myself saying the same thing again 6 months from now. And say like
Wow.
beginning of January, looking back like, wow, like September, I thought I knew something. I didn't know nothing. So it's just a beautiful growth potential. I love it.
No, yeah, okay, because it's funny that you bring up the 6 months. I mean, that's
Hmm.
quick. Most
Hmm.
people, I look at this crazy. You said that I literally wrote down 6 months. Like I'm tired of people saying the year, right? It's just
Hmm.
the year is that's too long for me.
Right.
Um, Not saying that that's a problem, but what I'm saying is that we should have a change each month. We just got through
Hmm.
talking about this. Like, if you're still in the same place 30 days ago, you're not growing. That's just like
Hmm.
when you were younger, your mom buy you clothes 2 or 3 months, be too small.
Hmm.
I want to know that I'm growing somewhere. So the connections that I make now are strategic.
Hmm.
The people, that I connect with, collaborate, partnership with, they have to be in alignment. Everything that
Hmm.
I'm doing now has to have a purpose. Um, I'm not doing anything outside of that because I'm marking off and on to what's happening.
Hmm.
Because at first I was just like, oh, let's just walk, let's just run, let's, and you do that in business.
Hmm.
And then you just like, oh, it's just gonna go. Or you may write down, okay, well, my goal is to um talk to 20 people that month. But are you putting a cap on yourself then? Are you,
Right.
putting a minimum on yourself?
Hmm.
And because and that's one reason why I'm not gonna lie, I don't make those type of goals because maybe it was meant for me to do 50 rather than 20, whatever.
Hmm.
So I always say I want to work with the best
Hmm.
and or who's aligned with whatever I have going on at the time. So it's crazy.
Mhm.
You said like 6 months ago, I was a baby, like literally. And you're admitting it because a lot of people won't admit, like, okay,
Mhm.
I can tell you right now, oh, I know for a fact when I first started business, oh, woo.
Mhm.
Now I ain't gonna lie. I thought I was, a whiz at whatever I do
Mhm.
at that time. Then when I look back, I'm like, oh my God, if I knew what I knew now, it would rock that
Mhm.
12 years ago boat. Like it would be insane. And I don't
Mhm.
think it was because of knowledge per se. It was just because of what I wanted to do at that time.
Mhm.
And for 6 months later, I mean, come on. So in between that 6 months, it because you feel like you grew more because you connected with more people, or how did that go about?
I think the number one I would probably say factor is connecting and always furthering the education.
Mm.
Because one of the big, I'm like automatically, I think very medical, just because my girlfriend's in nursing school. I have a bunch of aunts that are nurses, uncles, godfather is a doctor. So I'm just medically wired, even though I didn't go that route. But I think of it as kind of in finances, very similar to medicine.
Mm.
Laws, regulations,
That's right.
taxes, everything's completely changing
That's right.
and always changing.
Evolving.
Same
Yep.
thing with medicine is I think is personally for me, I think that's why doctors say we practice medicine. We don't do medicine
Do
per
it.
se, but
Can't do
we
it.
practice medicine.
That's right. Makes sense.
Kind of similar with I never say really I have a financial planning business. I always say I have
Mm.
a financial planning practice because I'm always learning every
Mm.
single day. 20 years from now, when I think, I know everything that there is, I'm going to learn something new.
You better preach this, Rashai. Y'all better listen to this young man, because my thing is too, because you're putting a cap on yourself when you just say you're not
Right.
learning. Right? No, that is true. And I'm just like you. I learn every day. When I was talking to the lady last night on the thing I was telling you about, that's what we were talking about too. She even put an emphasis. She's like, I don't know if y'all know Miss Nadia, but she's always learning. So and that's what keep you with the flow of things. That's what keep
Mhm.
you evolving. That's what keeps you on top of further than everybody
Mhm.
else is, like that. And nobody looks into that. They think what they're doing, they can keep doing it and stay in that little bubble. And then, hey, I like to learn from whoever's done it or
Right.
who's doing it. And I try to take, from whatever it is that I need to take from it too. But goodness, okay, so that was your first step. What's after that? Look, I love this. What's going next?
After that, I would probably say it was a lot of connections
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
really because for me, I mean, this is just my personal way of running, my business and my day to day. But
mm-hmm.
I'm personally not the type of person to put out Facebook ads or put my face on a
Right,
billboard
you
or
told me
anything like
that. Right.
that.
That is so cool.
hmm So it's really, I like to work off of favorable introductions because I feel
Mm,
like if I bring so much value to you, I want to be the best decision that you've made in your life.
mm.
Like I want the person sitting across the table from me to think 20 years from now, like, oh, geez, I'm so glad I picked up Rashad's call on that random Tuesday morning. He called me at a bad time. Like I wasn't in the mood, but God, I'm glad I answered that call.
Right. So yeah, so yes, guys, he told me once before that he really don't do Facebook, he don't really do ads, he don't do lives and stuff like that. And for you to have a whole full business that can run outside of that, we got on the topic last night about, how are you able to make connections with your clients without social media?
hmm
And before social media was so hitting, that's why they kind of prey on email lists.
hmm
And so, even with an email list, I'm not gonna lie to you, like it's still not a great strategy, because you can
hmm
email people all day long, they might not even see it, till a week later, or whatever. And even with text messages is the same, but word of mouth is
hmm
crazy out here.
Right.
Yeah, that's why
Because,
it's good to collaborate with people and connect with people, because you
uh
don't know. Yeah, word of mouth.
huh.
I like that. That
Yeah, and
is
I
so
think
awesome.
with word of mouth, it's so much more. backing behind it.
Mm,
Because I mean, even just thinking from personal stories that some of my clients have told me, where of course when I first started in the business, I heavily relied on my family
right,
as
right,
far
right.
as like, that's my natural market. Those are the people I know.
Correct.
And from helping them, or those who wanted help, those who didn't, and then branching out from them to where I'm now speaking with people that are friends of my cousin's friend. And, that recommendation, like the thought of, we had a great conversation, high level, and even just discussed hopes, dreams, how to get there.
Gotcha.
And
Oh,
that
wow.
person sitting with me thought so highly of you
Mm,
in that moment, thinking like, oh, you need to talk to Rashad. So
right.
I think that holds a lot more backing than just, random email list or.
Right. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Mhm,
And for even people, like you said, to um, get the experience of you.
mhm,
Once they know who you are and what you do, people need to
mhm,
know who you are and what you do, like, thoroughly, and
mhm.
gain the experience of you just in your time. And then that's when they go and shoot the knowledge. Hey, you need to get with them. You
Right.
need to connect with them. So, with that being said, let us know what you do. You told us who you are. You gave us the name of your business. You told us some great things. What do you do?
I would probably say the best way I can describe it is helping individuals, families, just the open-minded people that are always willing to learn every day and understand that they don't know everything, and it's
That's
okay that they don't know
right.
everything. You're
Right.
not supposed to know everything.
That's right.
Helping those people strategically reach their goals and pay the
Mm.
least amount of taxes possible legally.
Mm. So wait a minute, I didn't know it was about taxes. Look, you went
Hmm.
taxes.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm calling. All right. So yeah, I got some real questions. Okay, so
Hmm.
um yeah, definitely. That's a bigger step than what I was thinking. I'm thinking, of course, you're thinking of a financial planner, of financial practice,
Hmm.
to where it's some kind of gaps there, some limits. But
Hmm.
no, that's good. Like, so you can help people that are transitioning from one bracket to the other.
Um, I would say there's probably a total of 12 core principles of
Mm,
financial planning, I would say. Tax bracket management is one of them, though, for sure.
gotcha. Okay. 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 Wow.
I would
So
probably say there's a good 12 essential core
So which
principles.
ones do you enjoy doing?
Um, if I'm being honest, all 12.
I know, I
Just
believe
because
you. It's
they,
different aspects to everything that goes into
right.
everything. Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes sense. Total sense. Okay. Yeah. I mean, because I'm curious because we listen to you, like you can tell you got the knowledge, you feel
Hmm.
with it, and you are excited about it. You got
Hmm.
a different type of fire about financing, and nobody can take that away. So goodness. Okay, so tell me some other stuff about some finance. Anything that
Hmm.
that you like to talk about. Because look, I know you like talking about it. Give me some
I
knowledge.
do. I
Share some
love it.
knowledge.
Um, well, I think it's very, very simple, but
Mhm.
with I think with social media, especially TikTok, I think especially with TikTok,
Oh, uh-huh.
Instagram Reels, there's a lot of either misinformation
Mm,
or information that's not fully detailed.
gotcha.
And it's not so much from it's not so much from, I would say, the crowd that's, 40, 45, 50 plus. It's more so people in my generation, like just
Gotcha.
out of college, or graduated high school in 2013, really just 30,
Gotcha.
31, 32 and younger,
Gotcha.
where everyone on TikTok is a finance guru,
No, that's true.
you know. And
That's
there's a
true.
lot of times where they come to me with these ideas or just send me videos and like, oh, hey, what do you know about this, or how does this work? And something some of the stuff they send are just absolutely
Just
misinformation. Like,
crazy.
and
Right.
then the other half is true, but there's some stipulations to it
Right.
that are kind of that you should be aware of at least.
Uh-huh.
But
Ah. Stop
it's
reading,
very,
Rashad.
but it's very. I think with the overall concept of financial planning, the number one thing is having. If you fast forward, say you're 30 years old, you fast forward 35 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of stuff that happens in life.
That's
You
true.
know, you get a house, you get a mortgage, kids start to come into situation. Maybe you get married, and everyone always wants to believe that they have a lot of stuff going on,
That's right.
and they want to believe that, okay, once I let me take care of this first, let me take care of this, and like procrastination is the
And
worst
then I do.
with,
Yeah.
yeah, right, and then we'll talk. And I always like to share the story of the stuff story syndrome because it really resonates with people. It's like everyone has stuff going on.
That's right.
Everyone has kids. Everyone has
Mm.
obligations, responsibilities, like family that's depending on them, or
Mm-hmm.
really just anyone that's dependent on them. And if you don't multitask and you end up procrastinating, you wake up 15, 20 years from now thinking like, okay, now it's time to retire, or now it's time to plan for retirement.
Mm.
But really, the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest, and you can't get back lost time.
Not at all.
So,
Not at all. Not at all. And I
mm,
don't think, like you said, I'm gonna be honest with you, early 30s, nobody's thinking about that.
right.
Early 20s, nobody's thinking about that. But we have to teach the younger generation the right way. So they won't
Mm.
have to wait as long. I mean, I'm not gonna even lie. I think that when I was 18, I was like, I ain't never working after 35. I ain't working. Now,
mm,
some things has some all I'm gonna say is I don't have to work for other people.
mm,
But um yeah, but I and that's still true. But I'm just
mm,
saying I still wasn't even planning on doing the things that I'm doing now. Not saying it's hard work because I love doing what I'm doing, but I'm just saying, like you said, I could have came up with a better plan.
right.
If I knew that. Like y'all listening to what he's saying now, like, come up with a plan, have a plan. And that's just not just with, like you said, financing, that's just with your life in general. And
Mm,
that's a part of your life. You want to make sure,
mm,
like, hey, okay, well, in 10 years, 15, 5 years from now, I want to be set and I want to be good financially. Who wouldn't want to do that? You know what I mean? But
right.
yes, definitely. You
I
have
think
anything else? Mm-hmm.
I think one of the most important things too is that a plan is supposed to be very structured and it's supposed to be
Mm,
flexible. And a lot of
mm,
people always believe like, I have a common misconception with financial planning. It's like, oh, I don't need financial
gotcha.
planning. I contribute to my 401k, or I got a
Right.
Roth here too, and I'm doing investments here. But if you lay it out on the table, it's like a whole bunch of puzzle pieces, and
Gotcha.
one puzzle piece is your Roth, one puzzle piece is Social Security, another puzzle piece is
Mm,
your lack of income protection,
that's right.
another puzzle piece is your investments, another puzzle piece is real estate. And if you just have it laid out on the table, they're not all working for you. Because if one thing, and I'm sure people who went to school for economics, they can tell you everything with the government and finance, it all comes full circle.
Oh yeah.
Everything does. So why have so many different things individualized all on a table? Why not have those puzzle pieces all come together and work for you? So
Mm,
that way you don't have to give as much effort in your day or as much effort on your end
gotcha.
to get all the pieces together. You can
Okay.
enjoy the important times with your family, with your kids, and really just enjoy your day living instead of worrying about finances. So,
Oh my goodness. Right. Like you said, you don't have to sit
mm,
there and worry about it. Oh, look. Okay. So tell me, because we like to at least close out with a
Mhm.
good word. Anything you want to leave the audience with, a word of encouragement, business, financing, anything.
Mhm. I think the number one thing is that it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to
Mm,
show your scars. Like I come with financial planning, it's very the plan doesn't work if the numbers aren't accurate. If we're plugging in fake numbers, fake situations, or maybe numbers and situations that aren't all true, the plan's trajectory is not going to be your true trajectory. So, really just taking a step back, looking within yourself, and realizing, like, okay, it's okay to be vulnerable. No one has it all figured out. Even myself, I don't have it all figured out. There's mentors I have that are 30, 40 years in the business. There are still some holes that they can probably fill. So just always, there's boldness in vulnerability. I think that's the number one thing.
wow. Okay, the reason why I'm up here just like wow because I always think about that. I'm just like like you said, wear your scars, show it off,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of us try to hide that. And it's funny that you say number plays a plan, like a big issue, like in the plan because I do wellness plans.
Mm-hmm.
This is so weird. That when you're not telling me and being vulnerable and open with me about what's going on with you, like you just said, the outcome
Mm-hmm.
shows.
Right. Like if I had a cheat meal and I'm talking to my personal trainer or to you, I'll tell you I had a cheat meal.
Just tell me. But cheat meal is different from
Mhm.
when I'm doing assessments and
Right.
trying to get to know you. See, a cheat meal, I can probably say you might do that. Just me looking at you might say, okay, well, you might do that twice a month. You know why? Because you have to engage with different people,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to go to different meetings. So when you go to different meetings, people offer you stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I can see that. But on a regular, that's not normal for you. You want to be healthy. Well, these clients are not. So,
Right.
and they want to be healthy. So they don't even want to tell me the full story. What do you eat? Well, I try to eat healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I drink water. Look at they throw in. I drink water. Oh, okay. What's your point of healthy? Every once in a while, I go eat a salad
Mm-hmm.
and then I eat a burger. Okay, all right. So be honest with me.
Right.
So the outcome, or whatever plan,
Mm-hmm.
the calculated plan is set for you can
Right.
be correct. So you get the right outcome. I like
Right.
that, Rashad. That is so awesome. So tell us again, but how will we reach you? You're not even on social media like that. I mean, how do we reach Rashad?
So I do have a presence on Facebook, Instagram, where I do have my business
Oh,
website on
sweet.
there too. I just don't
Okay.
have a very active
No,
business
it's
presence on there. It's just all personal.
that's
Like,
right. Gotcha.
so just Rashad Clipper, whether that's on Facebook or Instagram, and then you can go from there.
Okay, and go from there. So then
Mhm.
they can find your website from there and kind of get in contact with you from the pages.
Yeah, and I'm very casual as far as um, connections and everything like that. So
Gotcha.
even if it's a
Okay.
DM on Instagram, we'll
Gotcha.
transition that DM to phone numbers very easily.
Gotcha.
So.
Very easily. Yay. Well, thank you so much for your time. Look, y'all see him with his suit and tie on, so he's about that business. So, and I respect his time and I appreciate him coming on to give us some more, to give us some knowledge, right? And maybe
Mhm.
we can have him on later on in the year or at the beginning of the new year so he can tell us more about his 6 months, because that's gonna be six
Mhm.
months in, and now you're gonna have a whole nother
Mhm.
lifestyle. We might see Rashad might be sitting up closer and look a little bit more higher. So I'm excited to see where you go with this because you're helping families, and communities, and it's
Mhm.
definitely needed. we
Right.
all need a plan for that as well. And again, I'm going to tell y'all again, this is one of my things that I love is numbers. And I love, everybody should love numbers, because if you like money, you like numbers. And
Mm-hmm.
it's all about planning, for your future. So he's here today. He shared with us, like, we need to get our lives together.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely need to reach out to Rashad Clippers and get on there and get on a plan, by any means.
Mm-hmm.
By any means. And thank you again, Rashad, for coming on. And we're out. Bye, y'all. Have a good one.